So in this video, I'm going to teach you guys how I locate and fully eradicate yellow jacket nests. And I am in Alabama as I'm filming this. This is the month of August, so yellow jackets are hatching out. They're very active right now. They're patrolling, looking for protein and sugar. And what I do is I come out in the mornings about 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning as the sun is rising, and I can spot these yellow jackets flying into and out of the ground really easily as the morning sun is hitting them. And so I just sit there with a cup of coffee and spot them that way. And then what I do is I wait till nightfall and I get the following items. I get degreasing dish soap. I get hornet spray just as backup if they try to fly at me. But the hornet spray is actually kind of optional. And I get a bunch of boiling hot water. And I wait till nightfall, so it's about 9 o'clock as I'm filming this, and I put some floodlights out there. I wanted you guys to be able to see the whole, they're all in here. Every single member of this colony is sleeping inside this nest. That's one of the perks of waiting till after sundown. And I've got these floodlights just so you guys can see. I don't usually have these floodlights. I usually just have a headlamp or a mag light. So I got my pot of water. It's full and it's boiling. I just took it off the burner, and I've got a funnel. And normally I wouldn't kill these yellow jackets if they're just out in the woods or something like that, but this is literally 20 feet off my back porch, and my kids walk by this place all the time, so I don't want them getting stung by these nasty yellow jackets. Very painful sting. So I take my blue dish soap and I just empty it all into this hole like you're about to see here. Just repositioning the floodlight here. And I'm going to take, I wanted you guys to be able to see how much of this soap I put in there and how much I get in it. You know, this soap kills the yellow jackets almost instantly. I think it suffocates them, and they can't fly with it all over their wings and everything. So I'm not too worried about them coming back up out of the hole once I coat it. So I just squirt it down their hole. Now their hole is very long, and their nest is actually about a foot deep, and it goes in and to the side about 1 to 1.5 feet. So what I'm doing is taking all this scalding hot water, all this boiling hot water, and I'm pouring it into this funnel, and hopefully it's going to get down to their nest, and this is going to cook them in there with all that soap. And that soap's going to kill them and get all over their wings and their spiracles and suffocate them, and the heat's going to cook them. And this is almost an instant death for them, all in there. So then I just got tired of using the funnel and just poured out the rest of it down in there. So it was about a gallon of boiling hot water. And I'm waiting for it to see if anything's going to try to fly out at me. They really can't see you very well at night, especially with these floodlights like this. They're going to have a hard time spotting me. So as long as you stand back behind the floodlights or behind your light, they really can't see very well at night, which is another perk to doing this. The last thing I'm going to do is take this fogger. This is optional as well. I'm just doing this because I'm digging up this nest tonight for you guys on YouTube. So this is an optional thing. You don't have to do the fogger. But all I'm going to do is click it on, and shake it up really good, click it on, and just shove it down in the hole. And what you could do also is pack it with some clay or pack it with dirt, just to give you a better seal. And you see a lot of the fumes are coming up out of the dirt already. Some of that is steam, and some of that is the fumes from the fogger. You want to make sure you're not breathing that in, kind of be downwind from it. I'm wearing a respirator mask while doing this because this stuff gives me a headache. I don't like breathing that in. So I'm just kind of packing it in with my foot and everything. But like I said, you don't even have to do this. Usually the soapy water, the hot water, kills them if you do enough of it. This is just an extra layer of safety because I do plan on digging this nest up and showing you guys what this looks like tonight. Now I am wearing 2 pairs of pants and a jacket and a hood over that. I'm clothed really well because if they do come out of there, I really don't want to get stung. I hate yellow jacket stings so much because they hurt so bad. I've gotten stung dozens of times by them, and it is so unpleasant. It lasts for hours and hours, so you want to be very careful. So you just want to sit here and wait. Obviously, it takes about 3 or 4 minutes, and I sped up the time here. So we're looking at kind of like a time lapse, and I kind of shake it around a little bit, and you'll hear it when it starts to fizzle out. If you want to go this route, you could do that. And then once it's done, you just pull it out and wait to see if any of them come out. Now, I kind of sit there with a can of wasp spray, so if they start coming out, I'll see them and I'll just, knock them back down with the wasp spray. Now what I'm doing is taking my shovel, and I want to show you guys what it actually looks like in the nest. I want to show you the actual, like, it's kind of like the honeycomb almost looking thing, but it's the paper and the envelope, as it's called. So I'm digging this up, and you're gonna be surprised at how far down this hole actually goes. It's about a foot down, and it's kind of at an angle as well, so it's really hard to get to. They build it that way on purpose because they don't want the rain to be able to seep down straight into their hole and fill their hole up. They're very intelligent insects. So I'm going to go ahead and dig all this up and show you guys all that steam that's rising up off the dirt. I get this vine off of my shovel here. So all that steam obviously is from the boiling water that I poured in a little while ago, and that's good because that means their hole down there was really hot, and it's gonna cook them alive down in there. Now, like I said, I just have a can of wasp spray sitting kind of out of frame that you can't see right now, and if I see them start to emerge and they're actually still alive, I'll go ahead and hit them with the wasp spray. But I typically try to reserve the wasp spray because it's kind of a lot of chemicals, and it's just an added cost. If you do a lot of this, you want to minimize your costs. And I have yellow jackets. I probably take out 4 or 5 yellow jacket nests per year. So this is a very very common thing that I do at night. The other thing too I've done in the past is I've taken gasoline, and I've filled a tin can with gasoline and used a funnel and poured it down into their hole, and then I'll light it on fire. But I've actually found that's not as effective, believe it or not. They can actually survive the gasoline and the fire better than they can if you just do really, really hot, soapy water down their hole. I think it's something to do with the temperature change. Once it gets down there and the steam, it just their body temperature changes too much and it kills them. So I'm still working my way down. I haven't seen any movement yet at this point, which is a good sign because normally if we didn't do a good enough job, they'd be boiling out. And guys, don't try to dig up your nest the night of. What I'm doing is, I just, for the sake of this YouTube video, I decided to dig it up tonight, but this is actually very uncommon for me to dig it up that same night. Usually what I would do is I would just leave it all and then come back the following morning. Sometimes I've even seen where a possum or an armadillo has actually gone in and eaten all the nest because he's like, oh hey, all these adults are dead. All these adult yellow jackets that would normally sting me in the face are all dead, and now I'm going to eat the larva and stuff. So I've seen where they've actually dug it up, but just wait till morning and then come back and see if there's any movement before you dig it up. And if there's no movement, then go ahead and dig it up if you want to, but you don't have to dig it up. I just like doing it because I like to see how big the nest actually is. So I'm still trying to get down to their nest, so I'm a good 8 inches down at this point, and there's still no movement, which is good. That means they're all not doing too well, because normally they would be boiling out of this hole and looking for me at this point. Yellow jackets are very territorial and very aggressive. So I shifted my camera, and you kind of see here in a second, once it stabilizes, you will be able to see in the top left-hand corner of your screen, there's some envelope that's just kind of peeking out. In the top left, you can see that tannish envelope with some white flecks in it. That is their nest there, and it's kind of crumpled up because I hit it with the shovel. But there are some living yellow jackets still on it, so I'm going to go ahead and hit it with the wasp spray. But they're really sick looking. I think they would be dead by morning if I were to come back in the morning. But I just figured for the sake of this video, I'm going to go ahead and hit it with wasp spray and kill them, and then that'll make it safe for me to be able to dig up. The other thing I've done is I've actually taken a window screen and placed it over their hole at night, and then squirt the dish soap through the window screen and into their hole so they can't get up at me. And then I'll take a water hose running at full blast and put it on top of their hole and allow the water to pour in through the window screen and actually drown them in their hole with all that soapy water. And like I said, the soap will suffocate them, and Just, if it's just water by itself, it won't kill them, but if it's soapy water, it will kill them. You just want to make sure you get the degreasing soap. But because I was so far away from the nearest hose, I wasn't able to pull the hose over this far, so I just did the boiling water effect, and it seemed to work just fine. So I saw some more yellow jackets trying to climb out a little bit, so I just hit it with the wasp spray. Even though they seemed a little bit slow and sick, like I said, I think they would have died by morning, or an armadillo would have come along and eaten them all. But better safe than sorry. So these yellow jackets, the way they dig their holes is they actually excavate the dirt. It starts with usually like a little rodent hole or a snake hole or something like that, and they'll climb in there and they'll actually start digging that hole out and dumping the dirt. And as their nest grows, they continue to excavate more and more, and they build this little cavern basically with a little tiny opening, so you can't see this nest. You just see a couple coming in and out, but there may be hundreds of them in there. This nest had only about 100 of them in it, but I've dug up and excavated a nest that had upwards of 1,000 in it. And can you just imagine a small child walking over that, or you hitting it with a lawnmower? It would just be awful for that young child. So here's the honeycomb I just threw up. This is the envelope stuff, or whatever it's called, and it's coated with wasp spray because there was a bunch of them trying to climb out. And sometimes there's a lot of yellow jackets that are younger and they haven't developed fully, so they can't fly, and you'll see them just kind of walking around the nest trying to dry out their wings. They can still sting though, so I go ahead and hit those with the wasp spray. But I've actually seen yellow jackets climbing through burning gasoline, trying to get out and sting me. Like I said, they're very aggressive, and they will give their lives to protect their nest. They're very aggressive and painful insects. So whenever I see them, I make it a point to take out their nest if they're near my yard. So you can see the top right-hand corner of your screen, there are some larvae there that have been scattered out, and just some stray yellow jackets here and there, but that's all the larvae that came out of this. This was a 2-story nest, and these two honeycomb sections were stacked on top of each other. And I have seen nests upwards of 4 stories tall. And you can see them kind of struggling there. They're not having a good night so far. And like I said, I wouldn't bother doing this if it weren't so close to my house, but I've got 3 sons that run all over this yard, and I would hate for them to get stung by such painful insects. So there's a lot there. I think this nest had upwards, probably around 100, maybe 150 insects on it. So it's good that I got a early start, and before they start queening and producing more queens and start spreading out all over the yard, it's good to go ahead and get them, because usually late fall, early to late fall, they start producing queens, and then once those queens start coming out, hatching out, you got a bigger problem on your hands, and they have more colonies that they create the following spring. Well, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is kind of just an educational video, but give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful in any way, and just be safe out there, and consider subscribing for more videos like this. See you guys.